To all who come to this happy place, welcome. I'm some jerk with a camera. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. A whimsical journey into a forbidden realm of witchcraft and wizardry. A magical land where the pages of literature come to glorious life. A breathtaking, game-changing, exquisitely detailed experience like no other. Except for the other two parks on the planet with something more or less exactly like it, one of which has quite a bit more to offer, but this one's cool too. Yes, after years and years of struggling in the shadows as Southern California's other theme park, along with this one, and this one, Universal Studios Hollywood is finally living up to the potential of a completely different park altogether. Yeah, this'll be another Universal episode where I compare them to Disney, but honestly, that's kind of unavoidable. If Disneyland hadn't redefined the gold standard of how to make a brand name into a tourist destination, I'm not sure Universal would even have a tram tour, much less a full theme park. But to hear Disney tell it, it's more than just shrewd marketing.
There's real magic at Disney.
It's really a magical place.
Welcome to all of the magic. There's just so much magic. Disney magic, magical magic, magical magic, Disney magic, magically magical magical magic, magical magic, magical magical magic, magical magical magic, magical 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 magic, magical magic, magical magic, magical magic, magical magic, Disney magic, magical magical magically magical, Disney magic, magical magic, Disney magic, magical magic, magical magical magic, magical magical magic, magical magic, magical magical magic, magical magic. The magic never ends.
The big selling point of Disney is this conceit that they've infused this park with all these supernatural, paranormal, otherworldly forces just for the sake of showing you, and cajillions of other tourists, a good time. But the more you actually study this place, the more you realize it's more like this kind of magic. The act of performing elaborate illusions on the world's biggest stage. Illusions that don't always work. Rides break down, attractions get refurbished, entire areas get surrounded in work walls. Things go wrong. And yet, all the talk of magic continues, which leads the smarter dumb kids to wonder, why? Couldn't any half-decent sorcerer's apprentice just wave a magic wand, spout some gibberish, and make the sentient brooms fix whatever's wrong with Space Mountain? How can magic wands this powerful not handle a lousy selfie stick? Which, of course, brings us back to Universal Studios Hollywood. It knew it couldn't compete with Disney magic, so instead of even trying, it basically avoided the M word altogether and sold itself as what Disneyland really is.
Universal Studios Hollywood, where movies come to life.
The only places on Earth where you can ride the movies.
Ride the movies.
Ride the movies.
Universal Studios, it's the movie.
Sure, the rides at Universal were nice and immersive, but then when you exited a ride and walked to another, you may as well have been at a Six Flags. So Universal rather ingeniously embraced their own tackiness and branded themselves as the park that pulled back the curtain and revealed the illusion. Not only would they not hide the fact that the shark still looks fake, they'd actually show a video afterwards detailing how fake the shark was in the movie. So with all that in mind, it may seem almost like a betrayal that Universal is finally embracing pure fantastic gobbledygook by swinging for the fences and opening this! In fact, prior to opening this! Universal had to build themed lands based on The Simpsons and, God help us, Despicable Me, just so this wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb. Almost makes you wonder why Disney let the boy who lived slip through their fingers in the first place.
I believe that your guests should experience Hogwarts just as Harry did. They should be able to ride the Hogwarts Express from King's Cross Station. They should be able to get their own customized Ollivander's wand, drink butterbeer at the Three...
Who are you again?
I'm J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah, I love those Narnia books you wrote, especially the Old Testament.
Anyway, I really believe that if we can commit to doing this right, we can make something that the world has never seen before.
You fool, that'll never work!
What'll never work?
Just practicing. J.K. Simmons, pleasure to meet you. Loved you in Lady Killers. So, what sort of thing will never work today?
Oh, nothing much, just acquiring the theme park rights to The Last Unicorn or something. 20 minutes tops.
If I may, I've been doing some research on the Kuka robot arm technology, and I really think...
Slow down, Queen Elizabeth. This is Disney. We gotta go through 87 levels of bureaucracy just to open a churro stand. For you, we were thinking meet and greet, maybe a live show.
I can see it now. We'll call it Percy Jackson's Rockin' Funk Review. We'll get Gandalf and Gurgi and the Boxcar Children all up on stage singing It's Raining Men. The kids will love it, I presume.
I really think that Harry Potter calls for more than that. A ride at least.
Look, Miss, just kidding, Rowling. Rides are very valuable commodities, okay? Once we build one, they have to last forever. That's why we only build them around surefire properties, like Mission to Mars and Dinosaur.
And Song of the South.
And Superstar Limo.
That was not a film.
Really? Then why the hell did we build it?
I think we lost a bet.
Damn it, Eisner.
Excuse me. I wrote one of the best-selling book series of all time.
Uh-huh.
The films and merchandise have already generated billions.
Uh-huh.
Billions! With a B!
Something with a B.
Oh! Nailed it! That is what I'm talking about. Dude!
I wrote shops and restaurants directly into the mythos, you tossers! This could be a gold mine for you!
I'm sorry. Are you an Imagineer?
That's not even a word!
Oh, says the woman who makes up fake words left and right, like, ministry?
Excuse me. I have to make a quick phone call.
You know, I've always considered myself a Ravenclaw.
Me too.
Hello, Eleanor. Remind me, when you developed Seuss Landing with those Universal blokes, how much creative control did they give you? Really? All of it? I think we're done here.
Well, we negotiated as hard as we could. It can't all be as easy as Peel, Travers.
Ahoy hoy! It's James Cameron.
Whatever it is, we'll build it, you beautiful man!
So, J.K. Rowling signed with Universal instead, and in 2010, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened at Islands of Adventure in Florida. Potter fans from around the world could finally visit Hogwarts and Hogsmeade, and Florida tourists finally had a real incentive to set foot outside Disney property. It was a godsend for Islands of Adventure, which had always suffered from bad marketing and general indifference and was basically known as that other park at that other resort. But then, 11 years into the park's neglected existence, it finally got its letter to Hogwarts.
Not every day your young man turns 11 now, is it?
And largely thanks to Rowling's lofty standards, almost overnight the Wizarding World became the new yardstick of the entire theme park industry. Without it, I don't think Disney would have poured nearly as much effort into Buena Vista Street or Cars Land or the upcoming world of Avatar. I didn't say every franchise deserved it.
I liked Cars too.
Quiet, you. See what I have to deal with? In 2014, a clone of the Wizarding World opened at Universal Japan, and the same year, the lightning scar struck twice in Florida with the Diagon Alley expansion. And finally, in April of 2016, Universal Studios Hollywood opened a Hogsmeade clone of its very own. And in case their Disney-esque ambitions weren't obvious enough, tell me if this commercial looks familiar.
We all wonder what it would be like to fly, to have incredible power, to journey to a world beyond anything we thought possible.
Where you get to dive right in, take aim and ride. And it's your dance too.
They're dancing in the clouds! Why must you be so cynical?
But even then, they still don't or maybe can't just say the word magic.
Then we come to realize wonder can be real after all.
Wonder? Are you kidding me? Did Harry go to Hogwarts to learn wonder? Wonder is real, you know? No one's even disputing that. People wonder things all the time. Right now I'm wondering why a park with a magic land is selling itself with wonder, while a park with Wonderland sells itself with magic.
There's no such thing as
wonder.
Muggle.
None.
Wonder.
We're not allowed to do
wonder
away from Hogwarts.
Magic.
And the winner is Stevie
Magic.
Just a little slice of America.
Magic. It's no wonder, or no magic rather, why this magicful Wonderful land succeeded financially, but if I could summarize in one word why it succeeds aesthetically, it would be detail. J.K. Rowling's greatest strength as a writer is arguably her incredible knack for world building, and every nook and cranny of this place takes full advantage of her expansive universe of timeless literary classics and also Half-Blood Prince, a universe full of whimsy and enchantment and bright colors and magic wands and magic trains and magic candy and castles and ghosts and flying broomsticks and flying cars and flying horsebirds and time travel and werewolves and dragons and mermaids and murder and fascism and prophecies and murder and torture and mass murder and muted colors and horcruxes and roofies and murder and identity theft and the Illuminati and living off the grid and nudity and elf murder and magic Nazis and explosions and war murder and survivor's guilt and assisted suicide and martyrdom and limbo and aborted fetuses.
Because I'm J.K. Rowling, bitches. And that's how I roll.
But for as dark as these stories got, while the Wizarding World uses reference points and iconography from across the series, the tone of this land remains firmly in the wheelhouse of the director of Pixels.
I trust with the concord of our powers we can duff up the jiggery-pokery of these blighters and send them scuttering back to the fractious firmament from whence they came.
Dude, you know they don't talk like that, Chris. You made 2 whole movies with an all-British cast, you racist!
I liked Pixels.
Quiet, you.
I swear it's like a virus.
Anyway, it's a theme park, so naturally it's pitched mostly to kids. In fact, it's pitched so much to kids that, well, longtime viewers may remember that I briefly discussed the Florida version of this land before. The signature e-ticket ride, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, was #1 on my top 11 Florida attractions not in California countdown before circumstances left me unable to ride it.
Push! Push, damn it! Push! Push! Push!
But now it is in California, so that list is a complete sham and nothing matters. So come on, gang, let's swallow the tears in my butterbeer and launch into some sodding detail!
What the hell are the footsteps?
There's way too much detail to possibly mention it all in one video, so I'll just scratch the surface with stuff I can easily make fun of, like the callous twerp I am. For example, the totes real snow on the rooftops that magically refuses to melt in the hot California sun. Shame, really, we could use the water. But the first major landmark you encounter as you enter Hogsmeade is the Hogwarts Express.
This is some sort of muggle contraption, I understand.
It is.
I've seen them all over, yes. Hello.
I am some jerk with a muggle contraption, indeed. Yeah.
Ah, some jerk. Is that a first name or a whole name? Or...
It's actually a maiden name. Now in Florida, the Hogwarts Express is a whole ride unto itself from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley and back, but here it's just a stationary photo op. Ah well, still no less of a ride than the Disneyland Railroad is at the moment. Another ride that's only at the Florida Hogsmeade is the Dragon Challenge coaster, which would have gone right about there. Instead, behind that wall, some say there be dragons that challenge you to not tear the seat in front of you to shreds with your bare teeth and 3D fart jokes. Other people say it's just White Walkers, potato. Or Hermione. Nearby, it just wouldn't be Hollywood without a couple of magic stores, like the Joke Shop Zonkos and the Diabetes Factory Honeydukes, because I think Wonka moved away when he got jealous that Hogwarts was endangering all the kids. But if you prefer your processed sugar in liquid form, why not try butterbeer? It's basically butterscotch cream soda, and it is almost obscenely delicious. They also have frozen butterbeer, but it's a little too watery for my tastes. Plus, I'm pretty sure they have to pay Disney royalties for it. But if you don't want to wait on that crazy line for such deliciosity, there are other ways. In there. Stop. Do it. I said do it. Stop being stupid. Or you can get your butterbeer fix at the Three Broomsticks, a delightful wizard eatery overflowing with all the charm of a rural English cottage, with food that is thankfully not authentically British. Then, if you need to expel those nutrients, you can do so at the restrooms. Now you may be asking, restrooms? Every theme park has restrooms. Why even bring them up, you deranged sicko? Well, when I say this place is detailed, I'm not just whistling pixies. The Wizarding World takes things we all take for granted about public spaces in general and weaves them into the mythos. The Three Broomsticks serves butterbeer instead of soda. The ATM is a Gringotts ATM. And in the restrooms, while you tediously remove human waste from your body, or however you muggles do it, Universal has seen fit to make the invisible ghost of a dead teenager giggle at you. Not making a word of that up. Yep, you get to hear Moaning Myrtle herself talk to you while you do your business, and this might be the one detail where...
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should.
I mean, Monsters, Inc. had bathroom scenes too, but you wouldn't expect extra magic to seep into those lavatories.
Okay, you finished now, right? Hello?
Sweet mother of God, it's John Goodman. All units, commence Operation King Ralph. I repeat, commence Operation King Ralph. This is not a drill. May God have mercy on our souls. And speaking of human waste, even the gift shops here are really impressive. Thumbing through impractical merchandise has never really been my idea of fun, but I certainly dig well-themed decor when I see it. One such gift shop empties out from all of Anders, where a kindly wand maker helps a young guest pick out the very best wooden stick Magisword.
Do you see my vase of flowers over there? Yes. Make my flowers larger, make them grow, by waving your wand and saying, Engorgio.
Engorgio.
Yes! That is the opposite of growing.
That's pretty much the opposite of living.
Aguamenti!
Wait, Aguamenti is the water-making spell, but water can't bring dead flowers back to life. Was that some special spell water that can reawaken the dead?
No spell can reawaken the dead, Harry. I trust you know that.
Yeah, but this guy clearly didn't. Are the rules different in theme parks, or was that some extra magic resurrection Jesus water? And wouldn't Jesus water automatically turn into wine? And who decided a flower resurrection spell was more pressing than a wizard resurrection spell? Serious Black Lives Matter, damn it! And now that Hermione is Belle now, couldn't she just Aguamenti that sucker and let the whole castle stay drunk on Jesus wine forever? What in God's name was I talking about? Oh yeah, this girl's a cold-blooded murderer. Anyway, speaking of dead lilies, the shop also sells replicas of many famous wands, including Voldemort's.
Don't use that name.
Fine, the artist formerly known as Voldemort. They're selling replicas of the wand that killed so many innocent flowers and people that most don't even mention its owner's name in polite company, but they don't mind printing it on merchandise. That's gotta be the Wizard World equivalent of Hitler ovens! Get your Hitler ovens! Nothing says lovin' like a Hitler oven! Makes a great Hanukkah gift! Perfect for baking kugel! The final solution to all your baking needs! Get your Hitler ovens! Then, if you're still watching this video, we come to the first of two rides, Flight of the Hypocrite. No one should ever fly, ever! Human beings were not meant to fly! A flying person is an abomination against nature and what? Hippogriff? Oh. Yes, Flight of the Hippogriff, Universal Hollywood's first ever outdoor roller coaster, based on Buckbeak from Prisoner of Azkaban, because at least one time travel movie has a ride in this stupid park. Why am I not dead? As roller coasters go, it's fine. Nice view of the castle, nice animatronic Buckbeak, nice thrills. Not much else to speak of, really. Except for these weird leg restraints the ride vehicles have. They're really uncomfortable, and they don't appear to serve any tangible purpose beyond sadistically inflicting even more pain upon your poor, tired pedal extremities. Theme parks, where you show your feet who's boss. And now that we know where to find that fantastic beast, we move on to the real reason why we all came here.
More
Oh yeah, and the Warthog School of Wizcraft and Witcherry. Because if there's one thing kids love to do on vacation, it's go to a school.
Ugh, more school.
Hogwash is, of course, home to the new crown jewel of this entire park, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which combines elements of a dark ride and a motion simulator to deliver a one-of-a-kind thrill ride experience. Unfortunately, due to the specific way it combines those things, well... You know how a lot of rides have signs that say you must be this tall? Well, this ride is more concerned about width. You see, this was the first major e-ticket ride to ever utilize KUKA robot arm ride vehicles, a robo-coaster, if you will. This gives the ride vehicles virtually unlimited freedom of movement, but with that extra movement comes a much greater risk of riders getting seriously hurt if they're not sealed in tightly enough. And if your body is just too big and bulky for the space constraints,
particularly right in the middle,
it becomes a safety hazard, so...
I'm too damn fat to ride. You happy? Apparently, editing a web series every day for 5 years isn't a foolproof weight loss regimen. Last time I listened to Neville, you know, this is especially hard for me as someone who may or may not have gone through a huge Harry Potter phase a few years back, which may or may not have resulted in me creating a Sir Mix-a-Lot parody about Book 3, which may or may not have gone semi-viral back in 2004.
So, Hermione. What? Hermione. What? I'd rather find him than have him find me. He's one bad muggle. Shut your mouth. Even Malfoy's got to shout.
Yeah, that was me. And now this ride does not like big butts. And it can lie.
But hey, even if you're too freakishly monstrous to ride the ride, or you just don't want to in solidarity, there's no need to immediately exit through the entrance like these confused people are doing. You can still walk through the impeccably detailed queue, starting outside with one of the few additions to California, Universal's commentary on Cars Land. Oh, that's where I parked. But if the line is all the way out the door, you can slightly cheat it by entering through the gift shop, take that, Banksy, and cutting through the locker rooms. Excuse me, which way is the wall? Thank you. Ow. Needless to say, this queue is packed with even more clever Easter eggs, assuming wizards still celebrate Easter if resurrection is really that easy. Like the moving portraits, which among other things, finally introduce us to the founders of Hogwarts.
What are all these muggles doing at Hogwarts anyway?
That's actually a very good question.
The narrative of this whole land is that we guests are not wizards and witches, except when we are, but most of us visiting Hogsmeade are in fact muggles.
Or, as we call ourselves here in America,
a proud American nomad. All the magic here is gone. A proud American nomad with a gun instead of a wand. A big fat loud American nomad. Get the hell off my front lawn. I'm a nomad, a nomad, a nomad.
I'm a nomad, and I approve nothing. If muggles or no-mages had ever been invited to Hogwarts in any of the books, it would have been a huge thing, right? Even before Voldemort came back, all the closeted Death Eaters never would have let either Dumbledore hear the end of it.
I mean, if they're using memory charms on us, they ain't working. I've been to this land like 5 or 6 times since it opened, and my memories of Springfield are still as vivid as ever. But I digress. Which is unlike me, I know. The thing is, there's really not much to mock in the Simpsons ride.
I'm not kidding, folks. Content-wise, this is by far the funniest ride I've ever been on. It was written by the show's actual writing staff, and it doesn't take itself even remotely seriously, so there's...
Oh, hey, a castle! Screw this, I'm gonna review that.
We eventually arrive in the headmaster's office, where Dumbledore, played by the non-dead actor, once again proves himself physically incapable of opening his mouth without spouting a truism by spouting a truism.
There comes a time when all of us must make a choice between what is right and what is easy.
I, for example, stayed in the closet my entire life when the gay rights movement really could have used the most powerful wizard on Earth, so I recommend easy. It's easier.
He sends us off to the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom to get a history lesson from Professor Binns, but then the ride remembers that Binns was cut from the movie, so instead we meet Belle, the Swiss Army Man, and Rupert Grint.
We came so close to having one class that wasn't all about them.
The point is, Professor Binns is very, very boring. Which is understandable, as he's dead.
In fact, he's so boring, he moved in here and brought the ghost count to an even 1,000.
Yeah, we're not as ominous.
Then some more portraits of characters I don't think we've ever even heard of before begin the safety spiel, and the Sorting Hat finishes it in rhyme.
Now rid yourself of objects that might poke or scratch or fall. Take jewelry, cell phones, all loose change, and stow them, one and all.
Here's the thing, though. The Hat never spoke in rhyme in the movies. I know he sometimes did in the books, but like I said, these are no matches.
I didn't know you could read.
I say to avoid confusion, we should go back and redub all his dialogue.
Plenty of courage, I see.
But he's got the IQ of a tree.
There's talent. Oh, yes.
For cleaning toilets, I would guess.
It's all here, in your head.
3 whole brain cells lying dead.
There's no doubt about that.
I'd rather sort the bloody cat.
You're watching the Comedy Central Roast of the Boy Who Lived, brought to you by Dos Equis.
I don't always drink butterbeer, but when I do, it usually just pours out onto the head of whoever's wearing me. I'm a hat.
And then, once you get past the talking dunce cap, you exit the building and that's it. Bye, everybody. See you in season 4.
Sun is rough to be a Hufflepuff. You never get the...
I'm being informed that if I don't at least try to review the actual ride, I will lose access to the executive bathrooms at Channel Awesome. So, here we go! Now, unfortunately, the snack carts are fresh out of Polyjuice Potion, and I'm allergic to skinny people hair anyway, but I did get to ride this ride on my last couple of trips to Florida several years and about 20 pounds ago, and based on my memory and a few low-light videos from YouTube, here's what happens. The magic benches take us to the room of requirement where Hermione's flu powder sends us into a Doctor Who wormhole because apparently Barty Crouch Jr. is impersonating Hermione now just to get his hands on a time turner. The bench starts flying and Harry and Ron meet us on broomsticks.
Hey, you lot! Come see us crabbing, have you?
Did Hagrid just forget all our names?
Hey, Scarhead.
Harry!
Right, of course. Hey, it's, what's-his-face?
Dumbledore.
Right, of course. Great man, what's-his-face? Hey, you, who must not be named.
Voldemort.
Right. Wait, what?
Voldemort.
Right. I'm so bad with names. Voldemort.
And wouldn't you know it, the dragon shows up and starts chasing Scarhead and then turns around and attacks us. Then Aragog attacks us, then the Whomping Willow attacks us, then a Quidditch game attacks us, then some Dementors attack us. You think this invitation was a trap? Like, that's just what they do for fun around here, invite unsuspecting normals to their school full of monsters and indulge in some good old-fashioned muggle hunting.
That is preposterous, my good man. This is obviously no Madge season.
Muggle season.
No Madge season.
Muggle season.
No Madge season.
Muggle season.
Muggle season.
No Madge season. Wait.
What a senseless waste of subhuman life.
Augmented. You're welcome.
Anyway, then we fly under a cliff and... Okay, I know this footage just looks like a bad ghost hunting show, so you'll have to take my word that this is supposed to be the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah! All this time, you thought you had to go to the girls' bathroom, speak Parseltongue, open a secret entrance, fall down a sinkhole, run through tunnels and rocks, survive a cave-in, kill Kenneth Branagh, speak more Parseltongue, walk through another tunnel, and climb down a stepladder to get there. But nope! The secret room that no one knew about that threatened to bring Hogwarts to its knees was just under a cliff near the Quidditch field. And no one noticed it because no one bothered to look away from the flying children injuring each other. This is the school that you desperately wanted to go to when you were a kid. Then Harry summons his Patronus, we narrowly escape being crushed by rocks. Okay, and Harry leads us back to Professor X's school for peculiar children, and apparently he caught the snitch at some point, so who cares that he almost got us all killed? Sports go sports! And that's Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and no amount of video footage or description or even logic itself can do justice to how awesome, literally awe-inspiringly awesome, it is. I'm not kidding, folks. This is one of those rides where the story absolutely does not matter, and when you try to explain it, it all falls apart into a chaotic barrage of random Potterness. Like all the best rides, it demands to be ridden, and I can't recommend it enough. And make no mistake, the Kuka arm ride technology is the secret of its success, giving these benches the illusion of complete weightlessness, like they can fly and swoop and do just about anything, really. There's already a few parks out there using Kuka arms on a much smaller scale just for generic thrills, plus Universal's Tram Tour used to use them for this blithering idiocy. And I'm sure in the next decade or two, every major theme park will jump on this bandwagon, but until then, I kinda can't believe I'm saying this, but Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey really does feel like magic. So I don't begrudge this ride for being the type of ride it is. I get it, it works. I just wish it didn't have to literally be a Forbidden Journey for the Hagrid-sized. Thanks for nothing, Hogwarts.
It's Hoggle!
And even beyond that, the Hollywood Hogsmeade is far from perfect, most obviously the sightlines. This is the Walter Lantz building, so of course it's intruding obnoxiously. And apparently they couldn't afford an invisibility cloak big enough for it. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but seeing such a drab normal office building right next to freaking Hogwarts does kinda take you out of the experience just a smidge. As does the finale of the Waterworld stunt show, which happens just outside Hogsmeade's borders. Keep it moving. Move along, folks. Nothing to see here. It's just some spells gone horribly, horribly wrong. Let's keep it moving, folks. There's also a side entrance connecting Hogsmeade to Springfield that doesn't even attempt a smooth transition. You got an English village, Stone Castle, and then Dufftown.
Dufftown? That's not far from here.
Also, there's really nothing in this land that isn't also in Florida, so if you live closer to Florida, none of it's really worth the longer trip. But hey, if you live closer to the West Coast, then the fewer reasons to set foot in Florida, the better. Where is he?
I'm right here, but I refuse to say that I like Florida. Even I don't like Florida.
Meh. What a senseless waste of glass. But honestly, it's petty to complain about what this land isn't when what it is easily the single greatest triumph in the history of this park. The wizarding world of Harry Potter is a hype machine that actually lives up to the hype. Besides, I can't help but get a certain perverse thrill out of knowing that this is no longer California's most impressive castle. Not even close. So how is Disney even going to respond to these boarding school punks? What massively influential, obsessively detailed, inescapable pop culture phenomenon is Disney going to turn into an even more immersive land?
What do you bloody no-mages want now?
Well, Miss Rowling, I think we can all agree that everyone at this table was a tad, uncharacteristically short-sighted last time.
We could go on all day about who wildly underestimated who. The point is, we're ready to give you a second chance.
I'm afraid that ship has sailed, gentlemen. I sold the theme park rights to Harry Potter.
We know. That is why we are proposing something even more magical. Prepare yourself for everyone's new favorite vacation destination,
the Casual Vacancy Land!
You read that? I didn't even read it.
Of course we didn't read it, but that's never stopped us before!
Just look at this beautiful concept art.
That's a vacant lot.
A casual vacant lot? Huh?
Huh?
This right here, this is why I hate Americans.
You want to build Star Wars Land?
You fool, that'll never... Yeah, okay. Man, the kids seem to like it.
Will Star Wars Land even further redefine the theme park experience when it opens in 2019 or so? Will Kylo Ren's mastery of the Force finally defeat Mr. Potter? Will George Bailey finally defeat Mr. Potter and use Clarence's Time Turner to turn the Wizarding World back into Bedford Falls? Only time will tell, but until then, give 'em hell, Harry. And you know what? My weight problem is no one's fault but my own. I wasn't always this obese. I was able to barely squeeze onto Forbidden Journey in the past, and damn it, I can do it again. As Godric Gryffindor is my witness, I will be jostled around for 4 minutes.
Sorry, man. You want to get a butterbeer?
Hell yeah! How much more must I stare? I tell you, cereal, it's all a conspiracy, man. They fill you up with candy and butterbeer, and then the British food makes you throw up, so there's room for even more candy and butterbeer. I don't have to put up with this shame fattening. It's time to do what's right and what's easy. Hashtag WTFU. Where's the fat, Universal? There. That ought to solve everything. Damn it, it solved nothing. That's it. I'm taking this to the streets. Where's the fat, Universal? 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 Where's the fat,
That's not what that stands for.
You're a stand. Where's the fat?
Can I ask you a question?
You just did!
Yeah, it's very amusing. Jerk, what is that around your waist?
It's a sweatshirt.
You brought a sweatshirt to Universal Hollywood.
Yeah, in case it got cold later.
Right, all those blizzards Hollywood always gets.
Dude, have you seen those rooftops? Why else would they be white?
Has that been around your waist every time you tried the test seat?
Is that relevant?
Best ride ever! It's my 3rd year and I cannot lie. You other wizards can't deny. After I broke free from the Dursley's barge, having blown up my Aunt Marge, I escaped with my hair all mussed. Got aboard the old night bus. Its speed is so exciting. You'd think Keanu was driving. The minister said no problem in the leaky cauldron, but I thought that I'd be finished faster than you could say. Diagon Alley with Ron and Hermione. That book of monsters, bite my hand off, it wants to. Crookshanks is after Ron's pet rat Scabbers. That cat, that rat, in a Tom and Jerry spat. I heard some dreadful news. There's a madman on the loose. He killed 12 muggles with just one spell, and now he's mad as hell. So Ron, yeah, Ron, yeah, who's the world's most wanted man? That prisoner, who escaped from Azkaban. Serious slack.
Get 'em while they're offensive! Can't tell your beloved relatives from a pile of schmutz without a Hitler oven. You, sir, may I interest you in a Hitler oven? I don't know. You got any Dahmer fridges? Sorry, fresh out, but we do have Bundy knives, Jim Jones mixers, and Bin Laden planes. They're right inside the Hitler oven. Climb on in. Why, thank you. I think I'll just... Hey, wait a minute. I almost had you.
It's my 3rd year and I cannot lie. You other wizards can't deny. After I broke free from the Dursley's barge, having blown up my Aunt Marge, I escaped with my hair all mussed. Got aboard the old night.